Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha, and welcome to another episode of All Intuitive Conversation. This episode is all about encouraging individuals to live smart and ascend to new levels of success in their work and life. Today, I have the pleasure of reconnecting with Aisha. So she and I have a little history. Many of the guests I have never met before, but she and I have definitely met before. We were introduced by a mutual colleague in BNI, and Aisha has a unique ability of helping individuals to kind of go through this journey to experience their past lives. And I had that experience with Aisha. And so then we were like, of course, you got to come and have an all intuitive conversation. So let's bring her to the screen. Aloha.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm so glad that you're open to having this all intuitive
Oh,
conversation with me today.
absolutely. I'm excited. Don't know what to
Yes.
expect. I feel like that's the excitement.
That's that's why it starts with ah. You just
Exactly.
don't know what it's
Just
gonna
go with
be.
it.
So really, it's about a conversation of just encouraging each other to live smart. And I had the pleasure of already having worked with you, which you helped me on my journey of living smart and having to opportunity to do that to explore my past lives.
Yes, ma'am.
So for somebody that's reaching in like, well, what in the heck are they talking about in this whole past life thing? Like, what
Yeah.
is that? How would you explain that to someone that has no idea what we're talking about?
So, my experience with past life regression is the understanding that we have come to this existence many times over, and we take on experience. We have like experience with family, souls over and over again to learn different lessons in different lifetimes, and
Mhm.
basically, when you have a past life regression, you're going back to a particular time to try to like overcome a challenge or just even become more inspired by that past life to know that you did it before you can do it again. So
Indeed.
it's
So
kind of amazing. Yeah.
it is. Well, you do it even in a unique way, which came out in this whole card because we have a gentleman here who is standing by his bedside and is not able to go to sleep. Like something is keeping him up. And the very first sentence on here talks about unfounded fear. But what reminded me about what's different with your past life progression process is that you do it in the form of some with like a hypnosis where you
Yeah.
sort of help people to go to
Yeah.
quote unquote sleep in that process. So how did you come about finding that version of doing it of using
I'm
hypnosis?
not going to lie. So I learned hypnotherapy. I'm a RTT certified hypnosis, but there I got that. I saw a past life regression done,
Hmm.
actually on Facebook, and I thought it was so interesting. And he actually uses hypnosis, and I want to say his name is Astro something. I
Hmm.
don't. I apologize for not remembering his name, but I saw it and I was just like, I want to do that, but I want to use RTT because RTT for me has been so powerful for clients really diving deep and having clarity when they come out of there in one session, having so much clarity. And so I was like, the power of being able to do a past life regression and RTT is, I think, is going to be transformational. So that's what led me to try it.
Okay, so look at Facebook actually doing something positive,
You
exposing.
know what I'm
It always gets such a bad rap, but looks like this kind of worked out. And for those that, so what is RTT?
It's rapid transformational therapy. It's a form
Okay,
of hypnotherapy.
okay,
That's it. Mm-hmm.
okay. So for people that wanting to know that, because like I said, we don't make any assumptions
Yes.
of knowing what that is. And so it's interesting because the card that came up was two gentlemen sitting here just like on this stump, and they're looking at something kind of holding the world. But what's stepping out in this particular situation, it says continue to move forward. So okay, you see the guy on Facebook and you see this and you put that together.
Yeah.
What was the next step in your process of saying, how do I move forward from now that I've seen it? I kind of want to do this. What did you do?
Honestly, I leaped. I said
Mm.
that I wanted to do it, and I knew I had the skill of hypnotherapy
Mm-hmm.
already as my foundation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I trusted that I would be able to guide anyone through that process of revisiting themselves in another
Yes.
lifetime.
So the other phrase it literally says on here, partnering with others who share your dreams, expanding your plans. And so you already had a plan kind of doing
Yeah.
therapy, but then
Yeah.
adding to this and expanding the
What?
vision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who is the type of person that you have found that would benefit from your service?
Hmm. That's funny that you say that because honestly, I say everyone, but not everyone's interested or believe in past life regression. Um, it's for people that acknowledge that that's a possibility for them. They don't have to know it for a fact. It's the openness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because even with hypnosis, it's if you are fighting the idea that you have actual control over your mind, or are you a victim, or is everything just happening to you? If you have the ability,
You came up with the trigger. It's all in my head. And that's
exactly,
is it all in my head? Mm-hmm.
exactly. And so if you know that you have more control, and hypnosis can be an open to solving that thing for you, then people are receptive to it. If people are like, I don't want people to be in control, and I'm constantly telling people, I'm not in control, I am just a guide. I'm
Mm-hmm.
showing you how powerful your mind is so that you can control yourself. So you can control your dreams and your desires, and let's say things that you say you want that your mind believes is dangerous for you because it is unfamiliar to you. So
Yes.
yeah, that's basically.
So the other card that came up here was the theme of conviction. And it says, no one listens to me. Trigger statement. But the true statement says, my voice is heard. And it says, stand strong and communicate your message. The world is ready to receive what you have to share. So that goes back to here, like I said, with the gentleman holding the world, and they're kind of holding this out. How did you know that it was time for you to share this message? Because, like you said, because some people will say it's all in my head.
Yeah.
What is she talking about? Like, no, or thinking people use crazy. But what is it that helped you to say, okay, now it's time for me that the world is ready to receive
Mm-hmm.
this from me?
Hmm. Trusting myself. Trusting myself was the thing. I knew I had a skill. I knew I had a desire to help. And
Mm-hmm.
I just saw that as another pathway to that. Um, Potentially deeper or the same. It's just another pathway for people to get more and deeper understanding. But it started with me trusting my own intuition about you can do this.
Uh huh.
So,
So there was a point that you had a doubt.
of course. Listen, self hypnosis is something I always am working on, and it's because I am a hypnotherapist doesn't mean that I am not in the same situation everybody's in when they have or come up against their fear.
Mm.
Um, we are all just working on trying to be our best selves, and I just found hypnotherapy to be the thing for me to not need other people, not need a doctor, not need, it's just like it's going within and understanding where my foundation and where my fears and the root of those fears stem from, and then fighting with that. Like, do I really need to like rationalize it? Do I need to be worried about what my 5-year-old Aisha was worried about?
Mm.
I evolved past that now that I'm 40. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So being able to believe in myself was a big hurdle for me. Confidence was not something that I always had. And I'm not confident about a lot of stuff, but hypnotherapy and my passion to help is one thing that I will go 100% in every single time.
Okay, so something that came through the message that came out here was the card. Traditional tarot pack talks about the magician, um, but this concept of this is you're beginning this whole new journey, but you have all of the tools and resources that you need already available to you. But this particular magician is hidden, and
Hmm.
you said at that same time, I'm not confident in everything, but I'm confident in hypnotherapy. What is it that you feel as though you're not confident about?
I'm not as confident. I'm also an artist. You'll see it on my website and on my TikTok page. It's like I'm a hypnotherapist and artist, and I love what I do as an artist. But I'm still working on just being again confident. I'm confident about my pricing, but I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I haven't given as much to that area, and so this year, um, I'm really just going to foster that passion and dive deeper into creating things that I love and letting
Mm-hmm.
the clients come to me and not so much worrying about um, the price point and or discounting it so that people can at least try it out and see what it looks like. It's like, no, let me just create and build up people that appreciate, love,
Mm-hmm.
desire my work, and then worry about creating a business around that.
Okay, because the energy that came
Like,
out is doubt.
yeah, it's like create the audience. Yeah. And I was actually doubting, it's funny that it came out because I was doubting whether I even market it at all. Like, not just do it and post about it, but don't worry about selling it. Worry about just creating the passion. That's for me, that's my outlet. That is my way to, because when I work, I take on a lot of people's energy, and to
Uh-huh.
get it out, I create. And that's my outlet as far as decompression and my me time, you know? And so,
Yeah. Um there seems to be this message that there's some hiding, like I said, really doubt, because in the beginning, his head is down,
yeah.
right? Their head is off to the side.
Mm-hmm. He's hidden. Mm-hmm.
Then you got flat out doubt.
Yeah.
And then you got another woman here, and it's like, yeah, she's happy, but she's still hiding behind like these these sunglasses, right? Like none of your images talk about you full flesh, head on, and going back to the theme, like the conviction of knowing.
Yeah.
So, exploring what is it about hypnotherapy that you just know for sure that you can do it so well?
Because I felt like for a very long, well, literally from childhood, I always knew I would help people. I didn't know
Yep.
how. I didn't know what skill I would be utilizing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it wasn't until I had my own mental break that I was just like, I need help, and my husband was just like, whatever you need to do, do it. And I actually did RTT for me so that I can find my own healing. And when I figured it out, I was just like, people need access to this. People need to know about it. And because hypnotherapy makes you independent, it puts you in a position where you don't need medication, you don't
Mm-hmm.
need someone else all the time. And I pride myself on being, because when people hear therapy, they assume it's going to be every month, every week, same time, same place, all the things. And I'm just like, no, love you, but no. I need
Okay.
you to understand where your root problem is. Let's address it. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get the healing that you need, and I'll be there holding your hands, walking you through it. But after 21 days, when it's after you've created that habit,
Yep.
you're good to go. And I want you to know that, trust that, and like almost like when I toss you out the nest, know that you will soar, right?
Yeah.
And so
So,
I help. So going back to the original question, um,
mhm.
for me, it was. from a young age, knowing that I would help. And when I hit him, I'm sorry, when I needed hypnotherapy, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw how transformative it was for myself, I knew that this was the thing that I was supposed to be doing.
Okay. So they didn't have me to read that very first card outside of the whole nurturing. It's in my head. At the bottom of this card, the the true statement says, I create with pleasure. And it says, take time to rest, and in that time, be open to creative pursuits. Surround yourself with things that please your senses and be gentle with yourself. So it's like it's the guidance is coming through as you're thinking about that other stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you're doubting. It's time to release.
Yeah.
Hmm. And it's like, what can you and continue forward. That's what they're saying. Time to release and continue forward. So it becomes, what do you what can you do in that moment, of similar to how you kind of went through something,
Yeah.
right? You had that breaking point, like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this is gonna help me.
Yeah.
So what is it that you can do to have something that's something similar to that in order to release this doubt that you have, so you can continue to move forward in your business?
I think intuitive again. This
Yep.
is the year of just trusting myself, right? I
Yep.
am literally just doing things that intuitively inspire me, and I was intuitively inspired to just trust that if I just create and have joy and passion, and even like show some of the process,
Yep.
that it would draw people, the audience, the people that resonate with what I'm doing, and then they will let me know when they're ready for what I'm doing. Instead of me feeling like I'm always chasing, like chasing after the carrot, chasing after the person, and then it's just like the price is X, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ooh, I'm like, well, I can do it for, and it's just like I don't want to, not degrade. It's not the right word, but it's not to lessen. I want it to be an even exchange. I want them to see the price and be like, it's worth it, and for me to be like, I can do that exchange.
Yes. So I was asking Emmanuel, okay, what is the encouragement here for Aisha? And I was drawn to my music oracle deck, which
Mm,
now, having what you're talking about, the arts, makes even
yeah.
more sense because it's like it's about music. And so the person that came in for you is Elvis Presley. And
No,
it,
no, I'm joking.
yes, chill. It's like it's time to shake things up, Aisha.
Yes.
Because when Elvis Presley, my body just hold chill, started off, what
Mm,
he did was taboo.
yeah.
Just shaking your hips and gyrating. It was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna ruin all the young teenage women out there because they're thinking about more sexually. And it's like, it was just taboo, right? And it says, in person, the king. Here it says, you are king. Never let reality stand in your way.
Mm,
Always keep heaven on speed dial.
amen.
So it's like encouraging you to go forth, do what you need to do, shake things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to probably ruffle some feathers, but be who you are. So, I'm going to flip right up to
It's
it.
funny
Says,
that that's the. I just want to interrupt 2 seconds. It's
yes,
funny
no.
that that's the card, and that was the message that you received, because um, what I do is I create body casts, which are nude casts.
Of course they are.
Exactly. So yeah. It,
So here's what it says, more guidance. So Elvis is where pop begins. A beautiful, insolent young man celebrating freedom, ready
mm,
to do anything or go anywhere, pausing for the occasional apology and regret, but then hustling on towards an exhilarating new world. An explosion of raw attitude, sexual abandon, and cultural vandalism, yet poised of all the infallible grace and unearthly charisma. Elvis gave a colorless, gray, and worn out world something it did not realize it needed.
Mm-hmm.
He is him and his contemporaries took black music, quote unquote, and white music, quote unquote, and transformed them into a brand new liberating art form, introducing the beat to everything: music, clothes, language, and dreams, and changing the world forever. So it's like you changing the world
So
with your art form. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that art form, part of it is healing, right? Because I call it celebration body cast. I want people to celebrate their body, whatever that looks like. So my aunt had breast cancer, and I want her to
Mm,
celebrate that journey because it was part of her journey. It's part of what made her or made her who she was, her experience. And I want
yes.
people to just be able to say, whether one titty hangs lower than the other, you got to love who you are. Like, that's because your baby was suckling from that one breast, and it's just like it's part of the journey, and it's beautiful. And we have to
Yes.
kind of just release the idea of perfection and embrace the joy, because we end up missing it, because we end up being 40 like, oh my god, I wish I was 25. But when we were 25, we were just like, I just want to be so different. I don't want my hair to look the way it does. I want my nose to look this way. And we never appreciate where we are. So that's why I created that this art form as a celebration. So it's called Celebration Body Casts.
Mm, love that. So then the next message that came through based off of what you said is that, did you know Elvis was a twin?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yep.
Had no
But the other baby didn't make
idea.
it. So
Oh,
it's like, how many times did we not birth something
yeah.
in our life?
Mm, a lot.
A lot.
Fear.
And
Yeah.
yet it's almost like he's an example, like, especially since you're talking about with pregnancies and body casts, and how many, things that are within us that may not have come into fruition, but
Mm-hmm.
yet his life, I mean, look at the complete opposite, not born to being known as one of the greatest,
Yeah.
the king of something. So it's like, message: don't let the things that are dying with you die with doubt and hiding.
Yeah.
Be encouraged. Have that same confidence that you have in your skills in the same way of how you go out and, um, it's not sell. The word is not sell. It's offer.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It's an offer.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will be ready to receive, some not.
Yeah.
But that doesn't devalue anything of what you're doing and what you're
Mm-hmm.
offering and providing. And so then I asked, well, what is the another, final kind of encouraging word for Aisha in this moment? And here, was Psalms 84:11, and it says, "The Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give you grace and glory. No good thing will He withhold from those who walk uprightly."
Mm.
So Aisha, be encouraged. Go
Yeah.
forth. Do what you do. No
Yeah.
more doubt. No more hiding. And share it with the world.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I can say it's been a pleasure to have, participated in
I,
your skills and abilities. And for those who may be like, oh, yeah, I'm ready, I want to do that myself,
yeah.
how can they reach you?
So you can go to everunfoldingminds.llc.com, or you can text me at 917-280-7504, or check out my TikTok, because that's where I post most of my stuff, on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, under Ever Unfolding Minds LLC. I'm like, I think I added LLC on there. It's Ever Unfolding Minds LLC.
Awesome. Well, looks like we had, Mr. G join us, and his encouraging words is, "You are enough. It is
Oh,
such a foundational message, but one can all learn from and honestly need to be reminded of."
oh, thank you.
So welcome. So thank you for being open to having an all intuitive conversation. If you're out there and you're watching, you're like, yes, I would like to come on and talk with Felicia as well. Reach out to me on LinkedIn directly with a message. Just say, hey, I'm interested in being a guest on the podcast. You can also learn more at my website, All Intuitive Conversation. Thank you, Aisha. And
Oh,
until we all meet again, this has been an all intuitive conversation.